and welcome to Babylon with Vampa. I'm your host, Vampa. Hanging out with me always is Dad McMahon. How you doing this week, Dad?
Not too bad. Yesterday, I had to take a lie detector test.
Oh yeah, did you pass?
They saw right through me.
You're a real numbskull, Dad. Anyway, my guest tonight is a filmmaker, musician, film fest organizer, catpire, or otherwise known as Vampa. Please welcome to the lair, Count Cat. Thank you for joining me, Count Cat.
Thank you 4, 5, and 6 for having me here.
Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
It's not every night I get to be a guest on a show. I particularly usually have people on my show and I'm like, hey, thanks for coming. It just feels so good to be welcomed on to another show for a change.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm really happy to have you. I was actually really excited to have you as a guest. I've been following your work for a few years now. Ever since I heard of the Planet 9 Film Fest, I think back in 2017 was the first one that I actually submitted my film into. So
Cannabis Cannibals.
yes, that's right.
It's very entertaining.
Thank you. We tried anyway.
We need more madness like you do here in the Motor City.
Yeah, I went to that film fest in person, and then I also went to the one that you did in 2020. Well, I didn't go to it, but it was virtual. And not only was it awesome for me to actually be a part of a film festival myself, but to be a part of all the other movies that you've curated. That's my favorite film fest. In all honesty.
The virtual one?
Well, no, just you're the Planet 9, the ones that you pick to be in the film festival. Those are the best independent films around here.
We keep it strange and prefer the deranged, so.
Yeah, very really memorable stuff. So it was for my movies to be, I guess, in the company of that is very, very, very honoring for myself, and I'm sure for the rest of my cast and crew. So I guess I kind of went ahead of myself. I wanted to ask you first about where you're from. I read somewhere that you hail from the Cat-thapia Mountains.
Cat-thapia Mountains.
What's that like?
Well, it's a lot less humid and hot than it is around here, but I love it. I've spent the last 313 years in the Cat-thapia Mountains, which are located in Tritulania, which is between Torrid and Poland in the 13th dimension. If you just go 3 realities to the left from this one,
Okay.
about 4 down, you make a U-turn and chase your tail eastward. You're bound to end up there sooner or later. It's a very relaxed place. We get a lot of rain. Feline cats and Rastafarians like to roam around. The villagers love and hate us. Castle Cat is #1 supplier of catnip, not only in Tritulania, but all around the 13th dimension. However, television is illegal. Therefore, that's why I come here to enjoy such beautiful works of art like Murder Pool. But you need to keep it cool.
Thank you.
And bloody.
That was actually my next question is, why did you come into our dimension? And that's because TV's illegal.
They're illegal, they're prohibited, and they're mostly quite outdated. So most of them that you can find, it's more of sort of this strange taboo, how, don't walk under a ladder, don't leave your hat on a bed, don't use the number 13, but there it's, a television set, they think it steal your soul, a photo for some reason. Just stupid old superstition.
So you have more success in our dimension where we kind of have the opposite, where we're kind of obsessed with TV, I guess.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Tell me about how you got then, I guess, interested in starting the Planet 9 Film Fest. When did you start that?
So that was originally created by the the humanoid whose spirit I reside in different bodies, different dimensions. We all have our alternative realities. But Tomcat, Crispin Rosenkrantz, and Oshka Kowalski, who's also my agent and editor for Castle Cat, they were making films and they were tired of their films getting rejected. They knew other people who were making cool stuff whose films weren't getting in any other film festivals. They were tired of having to pay astronomical fees of $100 to $200. It was just didn't seem quite fair, so they figured, screw it, we'll start our own. So they started Planet 9, and that's when Oshka first got me some work as a horror host for live events here in this dimension. So we started doing that in 2017. The first one. We did the Los Angeles, Detroit, and Chicago, Illinois. And we did that for a few years. The Chicago turnout's not so good, so we just stick to Hamtramck and the Los Angeles.
The Chicago turnout's not good. Is there not much of like a indie film community there as much as here and
there is. I'm not sure. People want to show up for their own films there. We were unable to find a prime location. It's the city's about, I think, six to 8 times the size of Detroit, and the venue we were working with, we had to rent, which cost us too much. We were just losing money on it, and not enough people there. It was more stressful than fun. We would love to do it in Chicago again. We just need, more support, a more central location, and this and that. But Detroit get better every year that we do it. Better turnouts in Hamtramck at Ant Hall.
That's a great venue too. Love it there.
Excellent, yes. Great sound, great video. They really very great at communicating for the most part. It's good atmosphere.
Do you still do the fest in LA, or like, for example, the next one this year? Is it Detroit and LA, or just Detroit?
It's supposed to be both.
Okay.
We have not locked down both. We're waiting from both venues to have a final confirmation for this coming year. With Los Angeles, we would originally do it at the California Institute of Abnormal Arts, which is a nice freak show type of place where they have like movies, music, burlesque, fire spinners, all kinds of weird shit.
That's cool.
Mummified clowns, genuine mummified clowns.
Wow.
And they were supposed to move to Las Vegas, yet Carl Crew is still in LA, so we started doing it at another location where it was easier in some ways, but I'm not sure if it was because of the pandemic. We didn't get as great of a turnout. So what did we do it last year? Some other place. Offbeat Bar and Grill. So if you're watching this Offbeat, reply to our emails or we kill you.
Reply, please. What did you think about the way that the virtual one went in 2020? Would you ever do something like that again?
As a matter of cats, I was hoping we would do more of that. The great thing about that is less traveling. I don't have to jump through a dimension, get to the third dimension where I have to learn. The countries here are all different. The states, the United States is non-existent where I'm from. So having to figure out how to take these cat-damn airplanes left and right, east and west, having to deal with having a person at the door, the organization, it was a little bit smoother. We still had our issues doing it virtually where we're running through an OBS system where it's supposed to be streaming through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But we ended up only going through, I believe, YouTube and some other one maybe, I don't remember. So we had an issue with that. But it was nice to be able to group all the films, because when we do it in multiple cities, some of the films, if we can, we'll show them in every city, but we get a lot of submissions sometimes. So we want to keep it fair. We want to make it a local we want to support the local community, so of course we want to show the films from LA in LA, and we want to show the Detroit films in Detroit, yet at the same time we want to cross those over for better exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets tricky with coordinating, so doing it all online for anyone to do inside out from anywhere on the globe,
Mm-hmm.
it was easier that way.
Yeah, it was really fun to be in like the audience for that. I think like we watched like almost every single one.
Oh wow.
And it's like when I go out to a film festival, I'm probably not as apt to like sit there and watch every one because my attention and everything.
You want to socialize,
yeah,
look around.
Exactly. But at home, well, I guess especially during like lockdown too. Yeah, we watched like all of it. It was so fun. And it was cool to see all the different ones together because like I had always known he'd done the other film festival, so I had wondered like what are the other ones I'm missing, you know. So the other thing that I like about your film fest are your like celebrity judges.
Oh yes.
How do you go about, I guess, picking out and selecting who the celebrity judges are?
Well, in an act of desperation, we typically resort to fictional characters, inanimate objects, and people who are on the run from the law who need a disguise and alibi.
Yeah.
How do we pick those? I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's usually... It can be kind of random. Sometimes it's people who have film experience who can look at the movie in certain ways. Other time we just find somebody who's completely out of their minds and figure it might be amusing if we release a sociopath in the public.
Do you know who
Psychopath.
any of the guests or judges are going to be for the next Planet 9 Film Fest yet?
I'm tempted to ask you,
Oh.
now that you mention it.
I'm tempted to say yes.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, as long as you don't, if you submit the film, of course, I guess that would disqualify you.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
We've had Crazy Mark a few times.
I like him.
He's great. The other problem is people's work schedules getting in the way or their vehicles breaking down. That's been pretty notorious issues here in the Detroit area.
Yeah, Motor City, we rely on our cars, and when they break, we're screwed. So I understand that one.
Yeah, not sure who the judges shall be this year, but I should probably figure it out.
Well, I guess I put the fire under your ass. I'm kidding. When is the next film, Planet 9 Film Fest gonna be?
It's looking like I like to do them in October, but it seemed like it's going to end up in November again this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not solidified any final dates. We've been pretty preoccupied because we do our own films as well.
Yeah.
And we're doing this new revamped version. It's a pun with being on the Vampa show. Revamped version of Cat-thapia, so we haven't really... We don't have a very large crew, so... November, short answer. Most likely November.
That's awesome because it kind of extends the spooky season.
Yes, which is strange to me. It only lasts here a month, if even odd that.
In Cat-thapia, is it longer?
I mean, it's sort of like year-round. We don't necessarily have Halloween, but everyone like to indulge in sweets, and you know, we keep our dead ancestors on our porches often, and you know, it's a pretty creepy place.
Yeah, I would love to visit. Honestly, is there some like what do they call it? Timeshares you can get?
I guess I do something sort of like Airbnb with the villagers.
Okay.
You know, we have many rooms in the castle. Perhaps you could come visit. We just have to work out the kinks with the vortexes. There are the Cat-thapia mountains are like a hot spot for interdimensional portals. There's also ones that have been opened up by mad scientists such as Dr. Macabro or Professor Nuts and Bolts. So it's just, you have to be careful going through them to make sure you don't like age 1,000 years or come out inside out. We had a few fiends try to come visit us, and hearts and brains were on the floor, and their eyes and skin were inside.
Yeah, interventional travel's a little dicey, I guess, at this point. So,
It wasn't a total waste in vain, though. We still had them for dinner.
oh, good.
They were delicious.
Good. Glad to see that. Like, there's no waste. So the bad professor is he in Castle Cat TV?
Professor Nuts and Bolts, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
So he plays the bass guitar in Death Cat. There's also, I guess there's been 2 versions of Death Cat, but it started here in the Detroit Motor City area, and then when we started doing the film fest, we started mixing and matching. It's kind of like swapping bodies. Tom Cat will go there, Eyeball shall come here, but yes, Professor Nuts and Bolts, he's in the show. He work in the laboratory down in one of the lower levels of the castle, creating all sorts of strange, bizarre instruments and candy machines that fire candy at us, nearly killing us, poking our eyeballs out. He's a little nuts.
While you're performing in the band?
No, it's just him every day, you know.
Oh,
he tried to make a sandwich the other day, and giant squid tentacles started coming out and strangulating everyone.
Wow.
Yes. He said he could fix our VCR, and then we find slime coming out of it, and the slime starts trying to consume catpire's claws, and gets stuck on somebody eating their flesh off. But
Sounds like you need some extra insurance for him, just to.
well, he's still very handy. He keeps many severed hands all around the castle, which are great.
That's helpful. It's always nice to have a hand around the place.
Yes, he provides more than a few. Not sure where they come from, but he provides them.
So you started the band Death Cat before you started doing the film fest? Is that what you said?
That Cat was originally created by Tom Cat in 2008 in Redford, Detroit, and it wasn't until 2016 they started. They wanted to do, because they're sort of an experimental band. So they were crossing the threshold of realities, interdimensional travel, and Cat Paddywhack, and he called me up in the meditation. He go, hey, Count, it's me, Cat. And I say, he goes, I know I'm going through the same thing myself. And we both shared in common, we're the same spirit and lost 9 lives, yet still are kicking, hissing, and scratching. So he said, it's getting too hot here. I need to get the big candy hell spell out of here. So we do this weird vortex. It took some time at first. I would show up and I would look like him. I'd be like, where are my ears at? And it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Remind me of when I first got cat scratch fever. I couldn't find my tail. It's weird. It'll take a while to get used to the human bodies. But 2008, and then it kind of do a remix when we interdimensional swap band members.
Very cool. I want to say what I like about Death Cat is, so there's like all these different, like, I guess, horror punk type bands, and personally I think a lot of them just kind of like mimic the Misfits, and I love the Misfits, one of my favorite bands, but they've been done. Death Cat is unique, and even though it's that, like, you're obviously very inspired by horror movies, and the songs are, like, you know, about the horror movies, you're not at all like that run-of-the-mill horror punk, like Misfit stuff. So I really appreciate that. And if you haven't, in the audience, checked out some of the music videos that he's got on his YouTube, go check them out. You won't be disappointed. They're really fun. The videos are fun too.
They're a great way to torture your fiends in the family.
Yeah.
And thank you kindly. I'm very inspired by the Misfits, so actually.
No, yeah. Yeah, that I can see, and like I said, I really appreciate that, because you don't sound like the Misfits. It's your own thing. So that's really cool.
We have our own mental illness, which will lead out into the notes.
Yes, yes. It's nice to have your own little unique mental illness come out in that way. Who besides yourself, Professor Nuts and Bolts, and Catpire is part of Death Cat?
Gruesome Grayson. I'm not sure what or who he is, where he hails from, but he's there beating away at the sticks.
Gruesome Grayson? Is that what she said?
Yes, he is the drummer of Death Cat currently, meow.
Who is the robot I see sometimes?
Oh, Demon Dog 138. He also he's it's a self-synthesizing robot that also has various programming where it sort of have different aliases. Where there was first it started off as Demo Dog 1138. Then when he went twisted and demented, when my cousin Dr. Alec Quack corrupted him for his laboratory, he became Demon Dog 138. Misfits again. And then when he's really messed up, broken down, missing limbs or two, he's Ghetto Dog 313. And he's real electronics. We were afraid that it would scare some people, so there was a time period where we created like an android type looking robot with like fake skin, and then we'd put the rest of the robot on him, but he had too much oil. We mixed alcohol and oil and crack cocaine once, and is flapping all over the stage. So if you see Demo Dog flopping over the stage with his head falling off, that is an android under there.
Wow. Yeah, that does kind of sound like it might be scary. When is your next live show for Death Cat? Do you have any coming up? I've noticed you've been doing a few lately.
Well, it depends on when this airs. What's today? May 29th. So
We'll probably air this in a couple of weeks.
June 10th. Death Cat is playing the Corktown Music Fest. We are performing at PJ's Lager House, which I love.
Yeah, that's another great venue.
Some great vegan treats there.
Yeah, good food.
And then we're going straight to Hell, Michigan, for the very first time on June 18th. And then we have Bolero in the Royal Oak, August 6th, with Nuke in the Night Shift. I'm very excited to play with because I remember when he was Nuke of the Living Dead long time ago, and he's got a great voice. His backup band used to be the Yellowblitz, who were a great punk band from back in the day. And then what other shows we have?
Blind Pig, 19.
Blind Pig on the 19th. It's on the interspiderweb. If you go to deathcat.us, you'll find much less information there. I forget.
So I mentioned you have on your YouTube channel, you have a bunch of videos. Where else can we listen to Death Cat other than the cool videos on YouTube?
Well, your nightmares for one. Yeah, I tend to find a lot of our music in trash cans outside of music venues. To our Bandcamp, we have our albums uploaded on there. You can spot us on Spotify. You can tune inside out to us on iTunes, Your Tunes, My Tunes. Maybe some other stuff.
All right, so you're out there. We can listen to your stuff. Now, I mentioned the videos, and I just wanted to say that my favorite one is the "Don't Fuck with the Chuck." I love like
Chucky fan?
Yeah, I love Chucky, and your impression of Charles E. Ray, is amazing. So that was.
I'll tell Tom that.
Yeah, Tom. Sorry.
I'll tell him that.
Yeah, tell Tom we love his impression. You guys go watch it if you're a Chucky fan, especially. You really like it. The song's good. The love for the movies that you have, or in the videos, like that. Yeah, it's cool. I really liked that one the most.
Thank you kindly. That was a fun one to do. But yeah, that's it. Child's Play is just, to me, it's like the greatest horror movie of all time.
Is that your favorite franchise?
Absolutely. I own way too many Chucky dolls.
Yeah. So is Chucky your favorite, I guess, killer? Because you got, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason.
Oh,
Chucky.
out of the slashers, absolutely, yes. He's number one.
Yeah, I really like Jason, so...
Yes, he's probably my second favorite.
They're tied. I would say, whatever movie, I just saw last, that's, my favorite, Did you like that show? The show Chucky?
Oh, I think it's great. Well, I hated the first episode where he killed the cat.
Oh, yeah.
I hated the reboot that the whole cast and crew and creators, Don Mancini, were all against. And I was like, well, fuck that version of Chucky. That's not Chucky. He killed the cat. And then I guess they want to do I guess that was their version of saying fuck you by having him also kill a cat,
Yeah.
an orange cat. And I have one of my best friends in the entire world is an orange cat, so I took that a little personally. For a second I said I'm not giving them any more of my money for that, but it's a fucking great show.
Yeah.
It's going real well. The thing that I really enjoy about the Child's Play Chucky series is not only is it the same people, same writer, Dan Mancini involved with all of them, in Brad Dourif and all of them, they keep it fresh. They don't stagnate. He goes from straight horror to like horror comedy to comedy back to scary horror to a mixture of both. Very innovative. Always pushing the boundaries while keeping it genuine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot to be said about the creator being there the whole time, because it is very true to what it is, to what Chucky is. But yeah, it's fresh, it's new, it's completely, it's leaps and bounds different than what we were introduced with in the first movie. What's your favorite movie of the franchise?
Child's Play 1988.
The first one?
But I love them all. I know my least favorite is Seed of Chucky, just because it's comedy, but I still love that too.
Really?
Yeah. Is that one of your favorites?
Yeah, it is. I really like the comedy stuff. I think I like Bride of Chucky better though.
Oh yeah, that's it's really hard to tell. It's like what you said. Whatever the last one you watch is your favorite.
Yeah, and they all fit so well together. I would say the only one I kind of don't like is 3. It's a little boring to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Don Mancini feels the same way.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know. I love them all.
Yeah. I would watch it again. Especially if I was doing like the whole, watch through the whole franchise.
Yeah, it's worth it. I think it'd be funny. I know they'll never do this, but to me it'd be hilarious if they just took Alex Vincent's face now, like clean shaved him, and they just like CGI'd it onto like Justin Whalen in Child's Play 3. And it just kept it really shitty looking.
They could do like like they did with Star Wars, like the special edition.
Yes. I remember when Return of the Jedi came out, I was like, I have to buy this version because I want to see Hayden Christensen as Anakin at the end. And I was like, sweet. But then when they CGI'd off his eyebrows when they take his helmet off, I was pissed. He had such great eyebrows before.
He does have really good eyebrows. That's interesting that you pointed that out. Because he does. So other than we talked about Castle Cat TV, we talked about Planet 9 Film Fest, the band Death Cat, you also have comic books.
Up and about the comic books. Meow, available. A coloring book of Castle Cat.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, check it out. We
Here's
forgot
the
to put the
back.
professor in there.
And here, let's get a good picture from the inside to show. I really liked this one of catpire right here. I want to color that. All right. So did you draw this, or did your
yes.
interdimensional partner Tom do this?
It was sort of collaboration.
I see.
I dipped my claws in the ink, started scratching, and then he repaired it all.
Nice. This is really cool.
But these here are some gifts to you. This is our first and worst album.
Well, thank you very much.
It has 20 tracks on it, but it only say 19 because it pretend to be hidden track.
Hidden track.
And then you can have these stickers as well for Planet 9 Films. And this is a film I wanted to talk about a little bit. So have you seen Planet 9 from Outer Space?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So we did Planet 9 from Outer Space.
I'll zoom in on this.
We went and we filmed at the original locations where they filmed some of their scenes in the original, such as Tor Johnson's old house.
Oh, cool.
We went and trespassed on the private property. I mean, we received permission. They did makeup on me where they put a hat to cover my ears and put like human-looking skin and hid my whiskers into a mustache, and I played the human, and we worked with real extraterrestrial Croswellian space cats. We had Tor Johnson was a wrestler gone actor, so we found a wrestler to play the part of Inspector Clunch. And his name happened to be Tommy Purr.
Oh, wow.
So he was perfect. And we have, of course, the Radioactive Chicken Heads. It's a band out there. They took part in the project as well. And we had the giant duck police officer, Officer Quackley, in a cemetery were yelled at for being disrespectful as this man stood on somebody's gravestone.
So when can we see, or where can we see that one? Planet 9 from the outer space.
I'm glad you asked, because Let's Meow, you can't see it. We sold the last DVD, and I'm not sure when we're going to be able to afford to put it out on more.
So it's rare. Is what you're saying.
Very rare, but we want everyone to see it.
Yeah.
We want to break even after 10 years or so eventually.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure. Maybe if people in Critters request seeing it, we'll figure something out.
What did I see that you posted recently versus John Waters?
Oh, Death Cat versus John Waters.
Yeah.
So Tom Cat was at John Waters was doing like a spoken word comedy thing in Los Angeles a few years ago, five or 6 years ago, and he asked John Waters, "How would you feel about being a villain in a comic book?" And he said he would love to be one. So we figured we better cash in on this as soon as we can.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because we're big fans. We tried to get him involved in Death Cat vs. Christmas. We sent him a photograph of Thomas Charles Lee Ray with a bunch of Chucky dolls, and we told him, look, you get to whip Chinese children elf slaves to make toys, and you get to have a cocaine beard. But he never responded to us.
No, he didn't. I'm sure he gets a lot of requests. He's one of my heroes too, so I totally get it. Yeah.
Pink Flamingos. That's Planet 9 films would not exist without Pink Flamingos.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would exist without Pink Flamingos, to be honest. That was like changed my life when I saw that when I was a kid. Probably too young to be saying something like that, but whatever. Not a kid. I was like, I think 16, so kind of corrupted already.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly. What do you...
Look what's come of it.
I know.
Greatness.
It's like we're both like John Waters' babies a little bit in a way.
Daddy-o.
Yeah. What's next for Planet 9 films?
Well, currently we are working on the revamped version of Castle Cat TV, which we've shot 12 episodes so far, working on the 13th. None of them have been released. We've had, strange enough, having trouble finding a rubber snake for the intro.
Okay.
We can't find a rubber snake, which we think would be easy. In Turtulania, there's real winged serpents. We get around, we don't have many motor vehicles. We have a few, I have a few. But main transportation is winged serpent pulled carriages. So we're trying to create a safer version of that because they won't cooperate on camera. They just bite you and you're full of venom and you fall over and die.
Okay.
So if you know any rubber snakes, give them my phone
We'll
number.
be on the lookout for rubber snakes. Well, I can't wait to see Castle Cat TV. The sizzle reel looks really fun.
Oh,
If it's any indication of what's in store for that.
oh, and then we also have, we're behind because we don't have any budgets or any, we have help from some great friends, but we also were working or trying to get towards Reefer Monster Madness, which is like it's just a much better version of Reefer Madness. It's like, you know, you smoke this weed and you want to go rob people, kill them, and rape people. And you hallucinate and see the name Rouge, and things are starting on fire. All while trying to find the veggie slider at the White Cat. And then there's a fun one that will be on the Interspider web, dug up from the past, called Chucky Meet Frankenstein. And then there's, what else were we working on? The Werecat, Beetle Cat. You know, rip-offs of other movies, but we'll replace whatever with cat. Franken Cat. Some of them are in the coloring book. There's a lot.
Well, that sounds fun. I can't wait to see that. I have some. I guess this is a personal question. Well, you mentioned cat scratch fever. How did you get cat? That's what made you a vampire? Is that how you become a catpire?
Catpire. Well, my memory gets very mixed up. It seems I must be composed of two other. It's hardly confusing, means shared spirit between Tomcat, but however, I remember roaming around the castle. There was humans or humanoid creatures. Perhaps they were vampires, I'm not sure. I was a cat with a hex on me, and there was this like war, the Scientology wars were going on. I was taking a nap in a carriage, and the count at the time, not Vlad, but his father, was down in the villages fighting these Scientologists who made their way into our dimension. They tried to come over and get people to join Scientology in a hostile way, so there was an uprising where Tritulania, we killed all of them, all the Scientologists. But I remember running for my 9th life, and I bumped into, I guess it was Prince or something at the time, Vlad, my other self, and we just scared the heebie-jeebies out of each other, and I scratched his face, which is, I guess, where the scar came from. And I woke up a few years later. All these people I didn't know, these politicians are asking me strange questions, and I was just trying to find my catnip. And I look into a mirror and I start screaming. I look like a human. I had no ears, I couldn't find my tail. This grotesque flesh all over me, no fur anywhere but on my head. And it took about over 100 years before some of my features returned. I can temporarily, like you saw at the beginning of the interview, I can regain my feline form, but it's somewhat uncontrollable when I take on this form, which seemed to be more pleasing for others. So yeah, something to do with, I don't know, it's the cat with a curse, and somehow I inherited the whole throne castle as a humanoid catpire.
So what's the best thing about being a vampire?
Catpire, well, I'm not necessarily a vampire.
Vampire,
yeah. I mean, life's not too bad. I still like to complain often, but you know, I can take naps. People think I'm different or strange. However, I'm just like anyone else. I sleep in a coffin-shaped bed, and I consume mostly human blood and chocolate human breast milkshakes, and I poop in a litter box, you know, just like you or anyone else.
Pretty typical stuff.
And I can go out in the sun. People ask me, or they say, hey, you got going, what are you doing out in the sun? You're not the real vampire. I'm not a vampire, I'm a catpire. I don't want to be in the sun, I'd rather be taking a nap. But yeah, it's pretty chill, you know, I'm not sure what the downside of it is yet. People like to call me a pussy lot, but you know, I'm a pussy you don't want to fuck. Or maybe some do, I'm not sure. The upside. I guess the upside is being nearly immortal. It's sort of like a blessing and a curse, which I know vampires have to go through as well. I am a young 313 years of age. I've lost all 9 of my lives, yet I'm still here, so I get to enjoy much more horror films, and I can keep that cramp records on the repeat.
It doesn't sound like a bad gig to me. Sounds pretty good.
In the castle, it's great. We got air conditioning.
Yeah, that's good. Especially since you're used to those Cat-thapian cooler climates. Well, I don't have any more questions. If there's anything else you wanted to mention that I didn't ask.
Nothing comes to mind, but it never really does. Thank you for having me here. It was an honor for me. I dig what you're doing here, and thank you for making creepy, weird films.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
Likewise, and thank you for being here as my guest on this 4th episode here. And thank you for making your creepy stuff and especially for giving filmmakers a place to bring their movies.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
We need to create a realm for the damned to band together.
100%.
Oh, and I will say, remember to vote Count Cat for Emperor of Earth. Whether you vote or not, it won't matter. But if you do vote, you might not die.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Hiya, folks. It's me, Dead McMahon. Stay tuned for a music video from Death Cat.
Appeared. Blood in his office. The other man, too. Blood in the railroad tracks.
A few spare parts.
Dr. Farb is murdered.
Is he?
No, who knows? Not me.
Don't you know the story that go a long time ago? On Skid Row, with the moral is a floor, the sign of death, still your breath, season your flowers, Mr. Miller, summer place, nothing to waste. Trapped in the mood for any man food, nor mama's medicine, needs good old sin, all else easy done. Drop of blood and all the juniors, going soon, growing soon, growing soon, growing soon, growing soon, growing sooner. Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour, Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour. Oh, the horrors won't stop in the little shop of horrors.
Oh, here are your contents. Wait, I'll rest.
Oh, that's all right. I'll leave him here.
Another funeral from my bar, the Shiva cries, another depart. Mother so sick, the medicine drink, gives a kick, throws in her bed. Come in, and then this patient for pain, is the boy so insane. Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour, Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour. For the horrors won't stop in the little shop of horrors. Society, a silent flower, observers of Southern California. You're going to be another Glendale, Sedina, Burbank.
I got ancestors in the flower business for 200 years, but I got one shop on Skid Row, one stinking shop. I don't even like flowers.
Mr. Rush, the goat, is sitting this man, the pain, so do the trick. Blood she takes this growth, embraces flowers and faces of victims. Water, receive me, love, relieve me, for rain so needy, now be me, 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 be me.
He almost bled to death and gangrene set in.
Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour, Seymour, feed me more, feed me more, Seymour. Oh, the horrors won't stop in the little shop of horrors.